happy new week. Hope you're doing amazing. I am sitting here next to me with my 3 times best-selling published author, Diane McKendrick, up in Queensland. Good morning, Di.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. How are you all going today?
Amazing. I'm amazing. I've just come off my birthday weekend, had a amazing party and all sorts of things happened, with my family. So let me guys give you an official introduction. So Di and I met in 2018. So it's coming up to our 6-year anniversary, I think, very soon, Di, because you came to the August face-to-face retreat in 2018. And wow, that was such an amazing experience, but also you're so different from book 1, 2, and 3. Now we're here to talk about book 3, but this is the first book that Diane wrote, Rise Up: The Soulful Guide to Success. So that's her first book. Oh, and Michelle's popping in. Let's let her in. Michelle is actually one of the collaborative authors into this particular book that we're going to be talking about. So in a moment, we're going to talk about book 3. Hey, Michelle, good morning.
Morning.
Awesome. I'm going to show you guys book 2. Book 2, Diane's book 2 was The Best of Both Worlds, Millionaire Mum. And the final one, which Michelle is a part of, is book 3. And I'm going to share that, and I'm going to introduce you to these wonderful ladies. And this is what we're talking about today, is the aligned woman's way. All right. So a little bit about Diane, and then Michelle, maybe you can give us a little bit of a introduction about, your background, because as I said earlier on a live that I did into our authors group, you were able to join Diane's team, and quit your day job and, live this, life of you guys being amazing entrepreneurial women. But Diane started out with a dream and no idea how. After experiencing depression, anxiety, alcoholism as an accomplished and successful young professional in the corporate world, a recovering overachiever on autopilot, an ex-athlete with extremely high expectations of herself in all areas of her life. Although petrified and feeling like she was an imposter, she vowed to be the person to write a book and start a podcast for other professional women or entrepreneurs who knew in their heart that they had so much to offer the world, but maybe on autopilot, have a dream, but being stopped by fear or feeling like an imposter. Fast forward a few years, and using the process she is about to, go show you, that helped her publish 3 books, run world-class sold-out retreats, published over 200 podcasts, launched a sterling silver jewelry range, customized and created her own clean protein powder, and runs online courses and actualized her $1 million business. All while working from home with 2 kids, same as Michelle, so 4 kids in amongst them. So Michelle, do you want to give me a little background in terms of your career and story, and then we'll get stuck into the conversation?
Yeah, definitely. I've got best of both worlds today. I have my child home sick with me, so she may be dropping into the interview. So my name's Michelle Ann, one half of those 2 sisters. Obviously, I'm the older one by a couple of years. However, I have less grey hairs, only because you can't see them. And we really are sisters. People often ask us that, and we are definitely sisters. Our mum and dad obviously did a very good job in bringing us up. My story is I was an ex-police officer of 22 years, turned tree-hugging hippie, and lifeaholic. That's what I like to say. Absolutely love my job. I'm so passionate about working with my sister, empowering women to just step into their true being and be seen for their magic in their world. And Diane and I complement each other very well. My backstory is, very quickly, I was a police officer, as I said, for 22 years. I didn't get the jab, so I got the boot, which is great. And it really forced me into stepping into my power. And sometimes the message we have for other people, sometimes it takes that little bit of extra oomph to get you to move over the fear line, whether it be a coach or something so drastic as getting terminated, single mum, 2 children. Definitely been through the ringer for the last 2.5 years, but really proud to say that come out the other side, just ready to take on the world. And I love working with my sister and being part of her book. So thank you.
Amazing. Well, that's what we're talking about here, the aligned woman's way. We know that there's 3 books, but today's conversation is, how did the aligned woman's way come about? maybe share that with us. You know, you can each have a go. I usually have only one person I'm interviewing. Now we have to like make sure we're not talking over the top of each other.
Okay, I'll go first since it was my idea. So thanks for sharing that, Michelle. I've heard that story a million times, and every single time I feel like it just gets better and better. So yeah, how did the Aligned Woman's Way come about? Obviously, I'd done the first book, Rise Up, The Soulful Guide to Success, because that's what I was going through at the time. And that matured into a business, and I started to run a business, and I realized that I had a limiting belief that I could either run a business and be a millionaire and build an empire and make a difference in the world, or I had to stay home and be a mum, but I couldn't do both of those together. So then that's birthed the second, more mature book, Millionaire Mum, The Best of Both Worlds, showing other entrepreneurs how to have the $1 million business and the motherhood. And from there, I was being asked to offer up something more with more depth and more richness to it, because I had started to work with other really established entrepreneurs that were coming into our retreats, our online courses. And then I realized that there's a few different types of people, particularly amongst women, because I work with women. And I broke them down into 4 archetypes. I had been through each of the archetypes and personality types and different stages of life and business. And then I started hanging out with ladies like you, Nat, who seemed different to everybody else. And I was like, okay, well, why has this lady got this? And, you know, someone like Nat, who's built a multi-million-dollar business and is also, you know, very present, nurturing and incredible woman. I was like, what's the difference? And so I coined the term the aligned woman. And what the aligned woman means is not that everything's perfect in your life, but you're in alignment with all of your values. Because I realized earlier on in my career, I was out of alignment with my values, but I didn't even know what my values were. So life was chaotic, life was hectic, life was hard, until I started diving into the personal development industry, and I met mentors like you, Nat, a couple of others within the industry, and I was like, I want to be like them. I'm going to work out how to do it, and I did. And then I realized that I had a very incredible formula to get those long-term sustainable results of all the things that mattered to me. And I was like, well, now it's my mission to be able to share that. How can I do that? I can do it from a book. I've got an online course. Michelle and I run an online course, the Aligned Woman Academy. So it's all tied in together. It's like the alignment lined up in my life through the things that I've done. Then it was reflected in my business. And as you said earlier, Michelle was able to leave or get sacked from a full-time job and step into our business. And granted, as an entrepreneur, it's definitely ups and downs, but it's our absolute passion working with other women, whether you're just starting out or you're established, on how you can have the fulfillment and happiness and peace in your life, regardless of the external outcome. Women of all ages, of all different places, stages in their life, from all over the world now, come to find out how to get what we've got. And it's that thing you cannot put your finger on, but you'll feel it. You'll feel it through the screen. 9 o'clock Monday morning, looking a bit sleepy-eyed, but there's still this vibrancy. There's still this energy. Like, we're on our path. Now you're on your path. So it's even on the hard days, it's easy to get up. Well, not always easy, but there's something inside of you that propels and calls you forward. And we are experts in supporting women to locate that within themselves. And then it becomes contagious. And there ain't much more you've got to do apart from keep living that life. And then you'll be able to get the book out, start the podcast, because you're not scared or ashamed or hiding in the shadows. It's like a way of life, and it's very, very fulfilling. So that's how the book came about. I was on my morning walk, because I walk every morning. I decided to write the 3rd book, and I thought to myself, to be honest, I thought, people have heard enough from me. I've done 2 books, got all these podcasts, enough of Diane, how, like, my passion is other women and their stories and how that can support. So I was like, how would it feel if I went to several of my clients and it became a collaboration? And I remember very early on the piece, Nat, you said, first book, don't do a collaboration. It's too much work, time, effort, energy, just focus on getting this done. But by the 3rd one, when I'd done the process a couple of times, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So within probably 48 hours, I had the idea. I had sold out the several chapters to my clients. So they became collaborators, and I helped them live their dreams along with you, Nat, in the publishing process. And yeah, here we are a couple of months after launch, and it's going off. And it just feels really complete, feels really full.
Amazing. Well, how was it writing your chapter, Michelle? Like, tell me.
Yeah, it's a funny one because I've watched Diane just flourish and work with you for so many years, and I love what she's done. People always say to me, "Oh, you got so many crazy stories, Michelle. You should write a book."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, one day." Like all your potential clients would say, "One day, one day, one day." And Diane came up with this idea about collaborating, and I'm the structure person in the business. She's the big vision. She comes to me, "I'm going to write this third book," and
You've got to be honest here, Michelle. Tell them what you really said.
There's a few swear words usually because, like, I make it happen. She has the ideas, I make it happen, and a lot of people don't realize what goes on behind the scenes with these great ideas that Diane has. But in saying that, if it wasn't for Diane, we wouldn't have a business because I'd be stuck in my comfort zone. So Diane's always pushed me out of my comfort zone, and she said she was going to collaborate and all this. I was like, oh yeah, and she invited all the clients, and I'm quietly sitting in the background thinking, maybe I could write a chapter, but I didn't tell her. And then one day I just came and said, well, maybe your sister could be one of those. She goes, oh, I'd already had you ticked off, but I just wanted you to come and tell me that, like, wanted it to be my idea. So yeah, I came to her and said, I'd like to put in my chapter as well. So
that's amazing. All right. So what would people get from reading this book?
You'll get so much. First of all, you get the sense and the feeling that you're not on your own, because I know you're all going through something, regardless of what the image is on social media. I know that every single person, should we sit and be quiet and honest with ourselves, you're navigating something. And what you will get is a sense that you're not on your own, that someone else has been through this and there's a way through it, and that you can find the way. The other thing for me is, I called the book, I remember talking to Stu about this, like The Aligned Woman's Way for the Woman Slain in Business at the Sacrifice of Herself. Because what I noticed in the industry, I was working with all these women making all this money, making all this impact at the sacrifice of something. Now, that was often her health. So her health or her weight was like not being considered. So she would get her goals or her financial goals or her business, and she'd be really unhealthy or overweight. Or the other thing, at the sacrifice of her relationships. And I started to take this track. I was so focused on my purpose and my mission that my husband got the last of me. And then it started to be my kids. Like, I was so focused again that, yeah, my family wasn't falling apart, but I just noticed there was sacrifices there required to make my business work. So what the book's about is my story on how to have it all, like how to balance it out, how to, one, be aware of what you want and what you're building and what your legacy is and what you're devoted to. And two, what else is important to you that you're not willing to sacrifice? There is a strategy, because when you do something incredible, like write a book, start a podcast, anything worth anything, it's going to take time, effort and energy. And that means that time, effort and energy has got to come from somewhere else. But we've through the book very clearly, there's strategy on how to manage that. And then that is backed up with story after story after story, women's storytelling on how they've reached multi-million-dollar businesses that some of them don't even have to be around for. Like one of my clients, who is doing so well, hadn't gone into work for 6 weeks and still created that income, looked after herself, like had a baby. And we had the conversation the other day, and I was like, this is it. People think they come to me for business training, but what they come to me for is the fulfillment, as well as to have the business, the money, the impact, the purpose, and be fit and healthy and be confident in your body. Have the endurance to stand on stage or go for a hike or play with your kids, whatever that is for you. To be able to, have loving and intimate relationships. So it's not at the sacrifice of the things that are important to you. And obviously, and very clearly, that's what's important to me. Yeah.
I love that. What about you, Michelle? What are they going to get reading your chapter?
Oh, they'll get a few laughs reading my chapter. I have a little bit of humor in mine. I like to bring that into it. As I said, I'm a tree-hugging hippie now. Well, I always was, but I'm come out to the world. My chapter's about moving from the GSD club, which is the Get Shit Done club, into having visits with Arnie Flo, not the period one, the intuition. So how I went from being a police officer, very structured, logistical, doing 50 million things at once, to now stepping into my flow and my intuition and my heart space and my spiritual side. And when you link the woo-woo side with the structured business side, it's absolutely magic. And that's another thing. A lot of women, business women, come to us, as they say, thinking they're coming for business training, and they're business coaching, and they're getting it for sure. We're definitely good business coaches, and they're not sure on this other side of what I offer. They're like, oh, I'll come to see Diane's business coaching, but I don't know about this, Michelle. She's a bit weird, because I do energy healing and I do spiritual work. And they get a free energy healing when they come in with the package. So they go, oh, okay. So they turn up, and no, all of them have not converted, but have come back and said, oh my God, that was the best thing ever. I'm so glad I saw you. And then their whole heart space comes out. So it's bringing the heart and the head together. And when you bring the heart and the head together, it's very, very powerful. Bringing the feelings into business. I'm the person that you come to for a big cuddle, and I hold space very well.
I love that. I love that. Talk to me about the butt thing, the butts.
Oh, losing your butt. Yes. Yeah, because we were struggling a little bit with our message, because there's a lot of coaches out there. There's a lot of business coaches, a lot of life coaches, a lot of spiritual coaches these days. Like, how do we stand out? What do we actually do? We asked a lot of people, and they said fear, but that's a common word. And I come up with this saying, so we support women to lose their butt. And then usually I stand up and I do a little bit of a wiggle, because I have my tight pants on, because I've got a bum, and so does Diane. But the butt we're talking about is your fear. So the thing that's holding you back might be, I'm scared, I don't have enough time, I don't know how, who am I to do that? I'm not good enough. I feel like a fraud. Yeah.
I want to write a book.
But
ask your excuse. Like, if this is on Facebook Live, which I think it is, tell us your excuse. Tell us your butt. Share your butt with us. Expose your butt to the world. Like, let us know. Because for me in this process, it was like, but I can't afford it. Actually, the first one was, but I don't know how. But I want to write a book, but I can't afford it. I want to write a book, but I'm an imposter. I want to write a book, but only famous people do that. I want to write a book, but XYZ. So share some of yours on there as well. I'd love to read them. Keep going.
Yeah, share your butt with the world. That's what I want to know. Share your butt with the world. Nat, what was your butt, Nat, when you first started with your book?
I think it was, but I don't know how. I don't know anyone who's written a book. So I went to Mr. Google, because I actually didn't know that people like me existed. I actually didn't realize that there were book coaches, mentors, and programs that would help you with a shortcut and show you the steps. I just thought you kind of had to work it out yourself. So that was, I didn't think I had to be anyone special to write a book. You just didn't know the steps. And no excuses. Love that. Lose your butt. I'm just reading a couple of the comments on the live stream here. Yeah, we all have life going on. Amazing. Let's see if some more people share their butts on there.
Yeah, I want to hear their butts. I had
it's a silent butt. No one wants to voice it though.
Nobody wants to show their butt to the world. Come on, let's get real.
We might not get anyone posting it.
But that's what we specialize in. Like, we're making a bit of a joke of it here, and it's a metaphor. Most people are hiding their butts instead of exposing them. And that's where Michelle and I come in, is to be able to pretty much neutralize or dissolve your butt. And the interesting thing is that when we do it with your book, quite often your body changes as well, because we're holding a lot of processed emotions. So through that process, we created Divine Hypnotics, which is our own modality. And it's like an hour that will dissolve your butt, like 1 hour with me or Michelle. And then from that 1 hour, you also get a customized hypnosis. So we're working with your brain, and then 7 days integration on Voxer, which is incredible. It's having people lose their butts and live their dreams, like all over the world. It's so fulfilling.
I love it. Tell me more what you guys do. I know you do face-to-face retreats. What are some of it? There's the podcast. What are the kind of what are the major ways that you work with other women?
We do so much. We actually were trying to narrow it down the other day. We offer too much. We know that, because we have so much we want to give the world. But everything we do is based around our model, which is the body, brain, being model. So as I said, we rewire your brain. We connect it back to your body. So we have embodiment processes, and the being, which is the connection with yourself and the bigger, higher power, what do you call spirit, God, Buddha, whatever it is. So bringing those through to bring true freedom. We work with people in many ways. There's a lot of stuff at the top. We have like free quizzes to do and all sorts of free stuff at the top. Coaching couch once a month where we go through a but. This one is about raising your prices, but not feeling worthy. And then the bigger things we do is our retreats, which we absolutely love. We have 2 styles. We have a business retreat, which is coming up in a couple of weeks, still a few spots left. And we have an energetics of life retreat where we really dig into the deeper stuff, the big buts, the big buts that some people haven't even told people. And we bring that out and we bring women together. It's absolutely stunning. And then, as Di said, we also have the Aligned Woman Academy, which is our 6 weeks signature online course, which we run every couple of months, which goes through all the buts of all the areas of your life. It's incredible.
I know you've got your website, which is called those2sisters.com. I'm going to quickly share it. And if anyone wants to go and grab any of the books that Diane and Michelle now that have written, they're on the website. If you go onto the shop page here, and if you scroll down, you'll find some of the books. And the Aligned Woman's Way, we're just getting it up in the next few minutes, so it'll be there probably by the end of the interview. But also, you know, the retreats, the other offers, the events, the speaking, all that sort of stuff. Oh, here we go.
If you're getting now.
If you're very, very quick and go now, you can get it the pre-order, because it was on pre-release for a little while. It's only just come out, hot off the press. So it's still here. Where did I click? On the offerings page. Otherwise, you'll find it on the shop page. So it's spelled those2 as in the number 2 sisters.com. If you're listening to this as a podcast and you can't see what I'm sharing on the screen right now. And of course, you can check out the retreats here. There's a retreat tab, and I'm sure you guys have some upcoming dates, that you've got happening here. So there's just so much that I've seen you add from what began of one book and some probably one-on-one coaching that you used to do, you know, has grown into this amazing enterprise. And I believe a wonderful community of women and who are like, you know, they often re-attend some of your retreats. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. We have people on their 2nd, 3rd, 4th retreat. We have people traveling from America. It takes 4 days to get here and home, and the retreat's 4 days. So people coming from all over the world, people re-attend, and it's just naturally, organically growing now, and so fulfilling to see, because it's the sense of community that can really make a difference. We're all on our mission and our path, but to be witnessed and seen and celebrated and supported by other women, that's a thing of the past, and we're bringing it back. There was this, you know, paradigm of criticize, compete, letting go of that and seeing what's possible when we actually see each other and support each other. That's a big part of the magic we do as community. People are so lonely.
Sorry, go ahead.
People are so lonely and isolated right now, and what they need more than ever is connection. Yeah.
And that's the one thing I've noticed. What I was going to say is you guys have done this very organically. You haven't invested thousands upon thousands of dollars into Facebook ads and stuff. It's been all about community, networking, speaking, writing the books, sharing, you know, adding value. And this is where it's got to, which I'm really impressed. You know, not a lot of people can go as far as you have without paid advertising.
We haven't done any really paid. We maybe did 1 or 2, which didn't really work for us because people feel us. And most of our work is referrals and repeat business. We have women signing up for a year's package and they're still with us 3 years later. And then they refer their friends. And then that's how we work best. We are starting to just now looking into Facebook ads. Things are starting to change a little and organic slowing down. So I'm not writing it off, but I'm really happy with how far we've brought it organic just by sharing.
Sharing and being I was very similar. I didn't go into it like 12 months in. It was like 3.5 years after I started that I started looking into it and, you know, scaling more that way. But definitely once you have a community, there was a quote, I don't know who said that, they come to us to solve a problem, but they stay because of the community. And that's what I see within our community. I mean, look at you guys, you know, been around for 6 years and 3 books later. So let's maybe transition to the final part of our interview is how is the process? So Di, I know Michelle behind the scenes organized things and all that sort of stuff, but you were present at the online retreat for the 3rd book. You did the offline retreat for the first one, so the face-to-face. The second one you kind of just wrote and we helped publish. So tell me a little bit of the difference in feeling of going through it in different ways each time.
So the first one, like you said, I did was in person, which was amazing because it really had that community element. Yeah, you flew away and you went on a retreat and it was incredible. Granted, I really struggled just because I had so much fear and Stu was coaching me through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you form bonds at those retreats because you're going through initiation together. It's a hard and challenging time. So to have that community get you through, have direct access to yourself, Nat, to see what you're really like and how you operate and how you function, to see the team, to have Stu there by our side, to be fed. It was an incredible experience. And then the world changed. And the next book I did, because I was in the throes of kids, I thought, oh, I've done it once. I just follow the same strategy like Natasha taught me. And that was enjoyable as well. I took a lot more ownership over it. And then the third one, you'd moved over to online retreats. So I feel like the benefit for the online retreat is the efficiency. Like you are in your own home, or you go, I'd recommend going away for the weekend, maybe to like, so the kids aren't knocking on the door getting their toasted sandwiches, as Stu says. I hardly said that. So you get yourself away and it's just like, you don't have to travel. You don't have to, have all that expense of going somewhere different. And so you can just be really focused. I think that was even, granted, it was my third time, but it was very quick process. Like I basically got the book from thought and idea to completion in just over 3 months. And that was with Christmas in there and me being, I'm quite a disorganized naturally person, throwing spaghetti at the wall, Michelle coming cleaning it up, Nat, helping me out. Like, yeah, that online is so efficient and just fun. Like the way that you've been able to create that community online is also very special. So yeah, both ways have such fun ways of doing it. And the main thing, you just get it done.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed. We've just completed the 20th online. Originally, we did 28 face-to-face. And the efficiency, the fact that people are not distracted by the socializing at the water cooler, staying up
with dance parties at the night,
parties at night, all of that sort of stuff. But what I've done now, once a year, we're heading up to a 7-night retreat, which is purely for bonding. We're actually calling it Bond and Beyond. And so that's happened this year to happen in Phuket. Next year is going to be in Bintan, just off the coast in Singapore. So those are like we know that people want to be together as well. But I don't want to move my 48-hour author retreat back to face-to-face because I realized that, like you said, you fly in the first day, you're recovering from your travel day, and then you're in this intense period of 48 hours to get so much done, and then you're going to fly home. There's logistics around all of that, as you said, extra expenses as well. So I thought, I've again, you observe how the world changes, and you go, maybe we need to do more of this or less of that, or maybe we can add this a different component. And this is where I believe where you guys have arrived now, is that you do have a lot that you do, and you're kind of going, well, what are the best ones, the things that bring us the most success, and how can we do more of that? And maybe, there is just time and place each year. I always ask, what should I start doing? What should I stop doing? Because it doesn't light me up anymore, or whatever it is. So yeah, well done. Oh, it's been wonderful to catch up and just share a bit more about what you guys are going on. Guys, go and check out the website, those2sisters.com. I believe Lindy has posted it in the comments. The books are there in the offerings or the shop page, and the retreats are posted, and experience one of, and what I believe is, I had a mentor similar to what you guys do for people. We thought we were going to him for business coaching, just like the dot the I's, cross the T's, or whatever kind of stuff. But he did he actually, his whole thing was change work, and the first session lasted 3.5, 4 hours, and like Michelle, you say woo-woo stuff. But we were investing so much to work with him. We said, whatever you're doing, it's working. And I don't know, it was after that mentor that I was able to scale to 7 figures. That was my first year and all that sort of stuff. So I think there are some subconscious blockages, things that we carry with us that we're not sure, why things are not in flow. And that's, I believe you guys are the experts to help others get unstuck and move towards their alignment, right?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the amazing abilities that we both have, is to take that woo-woo and make it fairly mainstream and safe for people. It doesn't feel scary when you're doing it with us, because it's a co-creation. You're leading it, and we're not giving you all this weird stuff that you're like, oh, who are these?
Yeah.
You get to lead it, and that's once again very fulfilling to watch someone open to that way of life and the power within them when they can tap into that.
Yeah, I just want to say one last thing just on authenticity. A lot of people are drawn to us because we're so real. And I think that's why bringing the woo in, it's easier because they see the realness of us. So we both have our own social media accounts, and we love our stories. Particularly mine, I love to show my life, the real life behind the scenes.
Yep, I've watched
right now when my daughter comes in sick. So it's on our Instagram and Facebook stories. So jump on and follow us, and you'll have a good laugh on mine, and you'll be inspired by Diane's. And yeah, it's just real. This is it.
You guys look so much alike now. Copy paste, as my auntie would say. I love it. Beautiful. Thank you so much, for sharing with us. And I know these ladies personally because we get to spend a lot more time now, even outside of officially being clients and, author or mentor. And I've gotten to know them, and yes, that, the real deal. And I highly recommend, if you want to unblock a mindset challenge that you have, and you want to have the best of both worlds, go and check out what they've got to offer. All right, guys. Well, have an amazing week and go out there and smash it out. Bye.